Just like to remind you that if you don't want to watch this live build, when I get done with this wood chipper, I'm going to condense it down to a video that is hopefully less than 15 minutes long. That is the entire build in one video, less than 15 minutes. So if you don't want to watch all these parts, then check out my channel, see if that video is there. I'll try to put cards at the beginning of all these videos, but can't guarantee they'll be there. First thing I want to talk to you about is this little stand here. I don't even know where to point at. I am not liking that, being on that corner. There's a little bit of flex in the frame, and having that on the corner just kind of allows that to be amplified. So I'm going to take and put it to where it's right next here to the gas tank, comes down beside the hitch. I really can't point when I'm looking in the view screen. So I want to move that over. I need to do a whole bunch of little things, like I need to start wiring in the engine, and I need to build a fan for the, good grief. Okay, can you tell I'm not used to having a view screen that I can look at while I'm filming? I need to build a fan for that generator in the worst way. So I'm kind of thinking about doing that because we've been losing electricity a lot out here lately. I was actually trying to put all the clips of us losing electricity in one folder, but either I didn't do it or I deleted the folder because I can't find those clips now. But it has been a very reoccurring theme for the last year. I'm pretty sure every few weeks we lose electricity. Lights up there, switches. Nothing. There's something going on. I kind of think it's hackers. I don't know. I hate to mention that because I really don't want to go off on this conspiracy theory. But when our electricity goes off, it's like someone just flipped a switch. It is off. Usually when there's a storm or something, it'll flicker a whole bunch. You kind of have like a brownout. You know, you're scrambling to flip the breakers in the breaker box so your house will shut off quick, you know, and not burn up all the electronics. But in the last year, it has just been off. Just like, literally like somebody flipped a switch, just off. It's crazy. So yeah, I got to remove the gas tank to weld that foot on there. Why was I even talking about electricity? Oh, yeah, because I want to use the generator. Golly. Ugh. I do have my big generator on my welding truck, and we do have a little gas burner generator too for the farm. But the thing is, if we use those generators to power the entire farm, I can't run the lathe, I can't run anything here in the shop when electricity's off. You know, those generators are just big enough to power the lighting and the refrigerators and freezers and stuff in the house, and that's it. You know, we can't run the air conditioners, we can't do anything. During the winter, I don't mind because I'm on wood burner heat, and my propane backup furnace doesn't require electricity either, so that doesn't matter. But during the summer, you know, when it's 115 degrees out, it's nice to be able to keep the air conditioner running. So having more generators will allow us to run more devices. Does that make sense? You know what I'm going after here? I've already talked more on this damn intro than I wanted this video to be long. I'm going to have fun cutting all that down to something intelligible and quick. Sheesh. Okay. So I also want to talk to you about the chipper part of it. I've decided I'm going to try a drum chipper, and since I have a vertical shaft engine, I'm going to try a vertical drum. I'm not sure if it's going to work very well, but from what I've read and what people have told me and just stuff I found on other things about chippers online and YouTube, drum chippers work a lot better for small stuff. Actually, it just seems like drum chippers work a lot better all the way around. So I'm going to try a drum chipper because I really am going to shred small things. You know, if the branch is very big at all, normally I keep it for firewood. So usually stuff that's I don't know, a couple inches maybe and under, definitely. You know, start getting around the 2-inch mark, I start debating about whether or not it's good for firewood or not. So anyway, I have this chunk of pipe that's, 10-inch inside diameter pipe. What's it outside? I forget. Yeah, 10 3/4 outside, so it's 3/8 walled. And then I have these two hard bars. I'll probably use this one as the anvil, and I will probably make the blades out of this one. However, there's no guarantee that's what I'll do. I may end up just using this one completely for everything, because this one's got some wear to it in places. I also have 1/2-inch plating that I'll probably use to make the end caps on this thing. I have a bunch of 3/8 plating as well, but I feel like the heavier the better, so I'll probably go with the 1/2-inch on that, make these end caps. Yeah, so I guess that's where we're going with that. I have the materials. I've actually had this material laying around for years now at this point to make this wood chipper, so maybe I can get it done one of these days. Doing a quick check, make sure it fits the gas tank. We'll spot weld it in. I went to run this bolt out and it would not turn. I forgot that I just had a grade 2 bolt jammed in there. So of course it mushroomed the end and, you know, pushed up the threads real good. So I got that bolt out of there finally. That took some work, a lot of going back and forth until it finally came out. Re-tapped the threads and got a grade 5 in there. I was trying to find a grade 8, but couldn't find one. So hopefully a grade 5 will work. That's a used one. Anyway, thought I'd better put that in the video real quick, just so you know that that's a different bolt, and don't use grade 2. I know that, but I don't know what happened, why I did that. Anyway, I'm trying to figure out this foot down here. I can't decide if I want to use this piece of channel iron, and I think about just doing that. Cutting it down a little bit, isn't even quite that big, but basically just cut that hole off the end over there and just use that for the foot. I'm also thinking about putting it like that. That way when it's out on the dirt, the channel iron will actually sink into the ground a little. But I'm not sure I want to do that because I don't think I really want to add stress to this jack, this stand out here, you know. I really don't want it to get jammed in the ground and pulled that way. I think I'd probably bend it pretty easy. So I think I'm going to go like that. And I'm just going to weld it on there at that angle. Call it good. I'm going to put a wire pin through this jack stand here. Not that way. It'll be this way since the gas tank is going to sit up here. So I simply put a slightly over 3/8 hole in this, because these are 3/8 pins. So I can put that on there. I'm going to put it down here. That will keep it from falling out when I raise up on this thing. That way when I go to hook this thing onto the four-wheeler, or if I use my garden tractor, I don't have to have that bolt tight, and I can lift it up, put it on the hitch. Also, it'll be pretty good for unhooking it too. I think. We'll see in the future if that's actually a good idea or not. Yes, it's actually faster to use the hand grinder with the cutoff wheel to knock these corners off than it is to try to set this thing up in the chop saw. Get the angle right and all that stuff. Largely because this channel iron doesn't fit in here very well. So there's a few things I could do to improve that, but just put it in like that. See, cut it off is easier. You're in my way, excuse me. Hey, cut this way now. Just going to spot on one side of the foot where the square tubing meets that foot. And I'll come around, and I got this little piece of 1/2 inch wide, by 1.5 inch long strap iron. And I'll put it here in the gap and weld it in. I'm doing this because I don't want that tubing to be solid to that foot and fill up with rainwater or whatever else. This way junk can come out of that square tubing.
Let's give you a real quick close-up look at that foot. As you can see, the square tubing's just touching back there, and welded it and put a little spacer in there and welded it together. That way the side over here is all open. Well, disappears in the shadows when I do that. But anyway, the side over there is all open. That way water, dirt, mud, whatever can come back out of there. The pin. The reason I went with a pin instead of a bolt here is I'm going to put another hole in the square tubing. It'll probably be like right in here. So when this jack stand is completely raised up, that hole will be just, you know, right above this square tubing here. So I can pin it. That way I'm not relying on keeping this thing up from just the tightness of this bolt. That way, you know, if you're going down the road or something, you don't have to worry about the jack stand, you know, falling down and tearing things up. So yeah, I gotta do that real quick. And yeah, I don't know what else. I did fart around with some of the wiring and stuff. I don't know, that's really never exciting to watch. Doesn't look like I did a whole lot in this episode, I know, but when I get around to starting in on that drum, it's going to suddenly look like there's a whole lot of progress, because there'll just suddenly be some parts here. You know how it goes. Little things like wiring and all those details just never looks like you accomplished anything, but making parts, it looks like you did a whole lot. So, not a very exciting episode, but hopefully we'll get onto that drum here real quick and it'll look like I did something. Wasn't quite done with the edit, so I was going to include a clip today of me cutting out parts of the drum. That was my plan. Washing machine died, so we've got to replace it. So I'll be spending my day working with this washing machine instead of playing in the shop. Oh well. And it's not going to be just a simple swap out the machine either, because I went to shut off the water and the valve seals are completely out. So the more I screw it down to shut it off, the more it sprays out. So I got to swap out these valves too while I'm at it. Yep, it's going to be an entire day.
Think of that, Dakota.